do it a whole lot better than computers. To be sure, computers dazzle with certain of their feats, not just playing chess, but learning other more complex tasks. Generally speaking, though, AI computers are one-trick ponies, and even the simplest require lots of hardware with a concomitant need for lots of energy. In contrast, our little brains can do a multitude of tasks and use less energy than a nighttime reading light. Seen that way, computers are very bad brains, and a search is on to make them more brain-like. The key to machine learning, as imagined long ago by Hebb, is that a nerve net connected by fixed wiring cannot do very much. Key is that the synapses that connect the neurons of a nerve net, or the simulated neurons of a computer, are modifiable by experience. This plasticity is a general rule in the brain, not just in sensory systems. It helps the brain recover from injury and allows it to allocate extra brain resources to tasks that are particularly important. In vision, the nerve nets of the brain can learn to anticipate the identity of an object in the world, to supplement the raw information coming from the retina with its knowledge of images it has seen before. Boiled down, this means that much of perception is not just a fixed response to the visual scene, but is learned. The brain's nerve nets recognize certain combinations of features when they see them. Where does this lead in our search for understanding the actual experience of perception, thinking, emotion? We don't have a detailed answer, but we can see far in the distance how the final answer may look. Known verifiable science can take us to an entry point. I will take us part of the way, to the seam where sensory experience turns into perception and thought. Finally, where are you in all this? It's easy enough to talk about the brain as we see it from the outside, but where is the inner person that we imagine to be looking out through our eyes? There we can barely begin, and we run inexorably into the nature of consciousness, the self. We'll go there at the very end, with no answer, but an attempt to see the problem more clearly. Part 1. The First Steps Toward Vision. During the 1960s, a good teacher named Jacob Beck gave a college course titled simply Perception. The course met in a small auditorium tucked into a corner of Memorial Hall, a 19th-century brownstone colossus erected as a memorial to Harvard's Civil War dead. The lecture hall's gradual slope accommodated perhaps 100 brown wooden desks covered with a century's coats of yellowing varnish. A black chalkboard stretched the width of the front wall. High on the left wall were sparse windows. The room was otherwise lit by a few incandescent bulbs, turning the auditorium a soft yellow. 30 or 40 students were thinly scattered around the room. Beck was as straightforward a teacher as the name of his course would suggest. His manner was pleasant enough, but he was not particularly interested in charming students. His main mission was to present his material in a clear and organized way. He used careful notes and stuck to them. He spent the first few minutes of each lecture reviewing the main points covered in the previous one. Beck did not need showmanship. The material was fascinating in itself. To be sure, he taught us the basics. Pressure on the skin deforms a nerve ending, which sends a signal up the spinal cord to the brain. Some of our skin sensors signal light touch, some signal heat, and some are for things moving across our skin, say a venomous bug dropping on your arm from the forest canopy. Facts like these were interesting in their own right. But the most wondrous thing of all, the great challenge Beck posed to his roomful of 19-year-olds, was object recognition. On one hand, this is a problem of sensation, how the eye works, how it signals to the brain. But it connects with the great issues of perception, thinking, memory, the nature of consciousness. We can get our hands on the pathways of sensation. We can record the electrical signals in sensory